Main body of the trimmer carburetor. Fuel atomizer. Rubber washer. Metal washer. Spring. Fuel quantity adjustment screw. After tightening all the way in, unscrew 2 turns. Throttle valve. Return spring. Upper cup. Throttle cable bracket. Throttle cable adjusting screw. Dust boot. Throttle lever. Cable mounting insert. Lever mounting screw. Bushing, spring and needle. The needle is screwed in until lightly seated and then unscrewed 2 turns. The throttle lever has a sloped surface. There is a stop with a metal ball in the upper cover of the carburetor. When the lever is turned, it slides along the stop, and the throttle valve not only rotates but also rises together with the needle. Throttle stop screw. Fuel pump gasket. Membrane. Lower carburetor cover. Mesh filter. Check valve. Inside there is a rubber sealing element. In one direction, the valve does not allow air to pass. In the opposite direction, it freely releases fuel. Spring. Shut-off needle. Lever. Pin. Fuel chamber gasket. Membrane. Primer housing. Primer check valve. Primer bulb. Retaining plate. Now let's consider the operating process of this carburetor. Pour a small amount of fuel into the branded cup. Press the primer bulb. The air inside is compressed. At the same time, the mushroom-shaped part of the valve is pressed against the seat surface. Next, the compressed air also acts on the walls of the rubber valve, which leads to the opening of the narrow slit in its same section. As a result, the air enters the discharge channel and exits the primer. When the bulb returns to its original shape, a vacuum is created in the primer. Atmospheric pressure presses the narrow part of the valve, closing the slit. At the same time, the wide mushroom-shaped part of the valve bends inward under the action of the pressure difference. The red arrows show the path of vacuum propagation. The vacuum from the primer is transmitted to the fuel chamber. Atmospheric pressure presses the sealing element of the bypass valve. Therefore, the vacuum is not transmitted through this valve. Through a special hole in the primer housing, atmospheric pressure is also supplied to the lower side of the fuel membrane. Under the action of atmospheric pressure, the membrane bends inward into the fuel chamber and, through the rocker arm, shifts the shut-off needle, opening the fuel channel. The vacuum is transmitted through the open channel to the fuel pump. Atmospheric pressure lifts the valve flap. The vacuum passes through the diaphragm pump and the next valve. The vacuum reaches the fuel supply hose. Under the action of atmospheric pressure, fuel enters the supply hose. It passes through the fuel filter and the diaphragm pump. Then it fills the carburetor fuel chamber and the primer bulb. Excess fuel returns to the tank through the return hose. During engine starting and operation, a vacuum is created in the carburetor diffuser. At the same time, atmospheric pressure constantly acts on the fuel chamber membrane. Under the action of the pressure difference, the bypass valve opens and allows fuel to pass to the atomizer. The flow capacity of this channel is regulated by this screw. The amount of atomized fuel depends on the position of the metering needle. The higher the needle, the more fuel is atomized. This channel is intended to control the diaphragm fuel pump. It is connected to the engine crankcase, allowing the pump membrane to move in sync with the piston, ensuring fuel supply to the carburetor. I have described this process in more detail in previous videos. That's all. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.